The Dayton City Commission meeting will now come to order. Please rise for the invocation and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. This evening, Commissioner Joseph will deliver the invocation.
Thank you, Mayor. Dear Lord, in these trying times, help us to reach especially those in need. Please bless this commission with the vision to lead and the ability to make a difference. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Blackshear, may I have the roll call, please?
Mayor Mims.
Aye.
Commissioner Joseph.
Aye.
Paul.
Aye.
Fairchild.
Aye.
Turner-Sloss.
Aye.
Okay. May I have a motion then to approve the minutes from the June 25th meeting?
So moved, Your Honor.
Second the motion.
Okay. Been probably moved and seconded to have the minutes approved. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Okay. Okay. Ms. Blackshear, have any communications, petitions?
Yes, Mayor. Mayor, Commissioners, on Wednesday, June 25th, 2025, I received initiative petitions from the Clergy Community Coalition for a public hospital to be built in West Dayton. I submitted the petitions to the Montgomery County Board of Elections on Wednesday, June 25th, 2025 for validation. The Board of Elections completed and returned its summary report to me today, Wednesday, July 2nd, 2025. Per the charter, I'm required to present the petitions to this commission on the Wednesday after the signatures are received, and that day is today. The city charter also states that I must schedule a public hearing within 14 days after the receipt of the petitions for the commission to approve the ordinance. Therefore, I have scheduled the public hearing for this matter for Wednesday, July 9th, 2025 at 8:30 a.m. in the City Commission chambers. Additionally, I must prepare a written report to the commission. I am currently preparing that report, and you should receive the report by the close of business tomorrow, July 3rd, 2025.
Okay. Thank you for the information. Appreciate that. So do we have any presentations? I think none. Calendar items. So Ms. Blackshear, have any additions, deletions, or comments to the calendar?
Have one, comment.
Okay.
I have been directed to replace calendar item number 7, which is ordinance number 32151-25, with emergency ordinance number 32151-25. And you do have a copy of that ordinance in front of you, which will receive a first and second reading at the meeting tonight. And the only change to that ordinance is the emergency designation.
Okay.
That's all that I have.
Thank you. Mr. Dixon, do you have any additions, deletions, or comments to the calendar?
Your Honor, I have no additions or deletions to this evening's calendar. I do have a couple of items I'd like to highlight. Item number 4 is a development agreement, D4, with Madison Holding Properties, LLC. This is the redevelopment of the former K&K Motorcycle Supply Building, which is a 30,000 square feet windowless box warehouse facility. This $9+ million project will modernize the facility. It will create 60+ new jobs, retain 10 jobs, and generate nearly a $13 million payroll. There were major exterior upgrades as well as streetscape signage, underground utilities that our $1.5 million grant is supporting. So we are excited to bring this investment to you for recommendation of support. This will be a great improvement to East 3rd Street there in activating the street and generating not only people on the sidewalk, but revenue for the city. So excited about this project. Also, I am really excited to bring forward for you all emergency ordinance number 32151-25, which is enacting section 35.241 of the revised code of general ordinances regarding project labor agreements. This has been a labor of love. We have been working on this since June of '23. The first conversation was with Grady Mullins, and then transferred to David Cox, who brought us across the finish line. Really excited because I believe that this is the right time to be bringing forward a PLA agreement. In the next 3.5 years, the city has nearly $100 million of investment that they will be putting into various water construction projects, the downtown police station project, the East Pod police station project, a rehab project. There is a lot of public projects that we'll be investing in. And so I am excited to bring this forward for your consideration, and to provide a brief presentation summarizing some of the work that we have done. I'd like to call forward John Musto from our Law Department. And while John's coming up, I do want to give great kudos to our Law Department. They did a lot of work looking at best practices, reviewing lots of different PLA structures in cities across Ohio. And I think we're on version 17, John? So 18. All right. So thank you, John, for all of your great work. And I'll turn it over to Mr. Musto.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners, City Manager. John Musto on behalf of the City of Dayton Law Department. So I'm here tonight to talk to you a little bit about the Project Labor Agreement Ordinance that is before you for your consideration this evening. Before we get started, I just want to talk a little bit about what a project labor agreement is. So basically, it's a unique collective bargaining agreement that is negotiated for a specific construction project. These originated as part of a complex construction projects that were high dollar and involved a lot of different skilled trades. So I have up on there some of the usual provisions that are included in this project labor agreements. So the first is wages and benefits. So they usually provide for health care insurance and then pension benefits for the workers. We have the hiring process is usually provided in there, and usually involves hiring skilled workers from the local union halls. We have employee safety. There's usually work rules that are contained within the project labor agreement that oftentimes make the workplace safer for the employees. And then lastly, we have training through apprenticeship programs. So those are some of the standard terms that are in a lot of the project labor agreements. So when the project labor agreements are done right, there's lots of great benefits for everyone involved. First of all, when you have them on those complex projects that have lots of different trades, you enhance the coordination and cooperation and usually make the project more efficient. Second, you can increase local employment. One of the beautiful things about this is you're hiring the skilled labor from the local union hall, so you're keeping the employment local, you're keeping those wages local, and you're improving the local economy. So that's another important benefit there. Another great benefit, I know the commissioners have talked about training before, but you take unskilled citizens and you create skilled tradespeople. They earn a much better living, they improve their standard of living, and they improve the economy and the standard of living for everyone around them. Lastly, or not lastly, but you also provide great benefits to the workers. They usually get better health insurance and pension benefits out of it. And then lastly, there's usually a provision in the collective bargaining agreements and the project labor agreements that provides for the education of the workers on the benefits of being in a union. So you have people that haven't been involved in unions, they're part of the project labor agreement, they watch and see what the unions do for the employees, they see the benefits there, and then they can get pamphlets. And this provision for education is there without any employers hampering that or dissuading them from it. So it really provides an eye-opening experience for people that aren't members of unions to see what they're all about and maybe to join them if it's right for them. Yeah. While there's lots of great benefits for project labor agreements when they're done right, there's still risks. If they're not done right, they're on the wrong projects, they can, in some cases, dramatically increase costs of the project. They also, this is not an intended consequence, but what can happen is it can negatively impact participation, particularly MBE participation in the projects. And the reason this is out there, there's a lot of negative propaganda about project labor agreements out there. And there's a lot of contractors. You have to understand that the project labor agreement is signed not just by the general contractor, but by all the subcontractors, include the small business and the minority business enterprises. So they hear all this negative propaganda, and it scares them. They think they're going to lose control over the work site, and they're going to cost them more money. So if it's not done right, if it's not done along with the education program, you can have a negative initial impact with MBE participation. Along the same lines, you can reduce the number of bidders on projects, which can make the projects cost more and not have the taxpayers' money go as far as it should. And then the wild card in all of this that we've seen in the last few months, what the federal government does. The last administration was a huge proponent of project labor agreements. President Biden had issued an executive order encouraging project labor agreements on projects over $35 million. The new administration, it's not quite known, but we do know that it's my understanding that they've excluded Department of Defense projects from that executive order. So the risk here is that the federal government either prohibits funds being used on project labor agreement projects, or they put in roadblocks and require us to take steps that make it near impossible for us to get through. So that's kind of a wild card here as to what happens. So we looked at the benefits and we looked at the risks, and we took quite a bit of time and created our own ordinance to try and maximize those benefits and reduce the risks. So we have the project labor agreement ordinance that applies to vertical construction with a threshold of $2 million. Now, the reason that we chose vertical construction is it is construction that is more complex and involves a lot of different trades, and it makes sense to have a project labor agreement for those to help with the efficiency of the project. We excluded the Dayton Airport. The reason we excluded the Dayton Airport is the Federal Aviation Administration has a requirement that each and every one of the project labor agreements has to go up the chain to the Home Office to get approved. This would be a drastic slowdown in their process to get contracts approved. So for the initial ordinance, we have excluded that. We also hedged our bets because we don't know what the federal government's going to do, and we put an exemption in there that exempts projects where the funding source prohibits it. So in case the federal government does something, we don't have to do the project labor agreement. We can continue to get the federal funding source and move forward with the projects that our citizens need. We were very careful to not exclude non-union contractors, and we actually put that in the ordinance that it does not exclude non-union contractors, because we want as many qualified bidders as we can get in these projects so that we can get the best price and use the taxpayers' money the most efficiently as we can. The last part of it is we utilize the local union halls, hiring halls, in employment on these projects, which, as I said, is very important because you're hiring local people, skilled local people that make a good wage. They keep their money here in Dayton, and it helps out with the economy. And the other benefit, too, is people see these skilled laborers doing a great job and making good money, and it encourages young people to want to go into skilled trades, which my understanding is they're desperately needed at this point. So this is not a one-shot and done process. This is just the first step. So moving forward with the bids, we're going to create the paperwork to put the information for the project labor agreements in the bids where they're applicable. We're going to carefully evaluate the impact, and we're going to work with the other city departments, including the Human Relations Council, to educate the small businesses, the minority businesses, about the benefits of the project labor agreements, and they're not something to be afraid of or dissuaded from bidding on, so that we don't have that problem with them. And then we are going to review and revise based upon our actual experience with this, so that we, again, maximize the benefits and reduce the chance of risk or negative consequences from doing these. So, like I said, although this has been a long process, we're still at the beginning of the process, because we have now to gain experience with the project labor agreements and put that experience to use in modifying so that we get the best result for everyone involved. Does anyone have any questions?
Yes, first, before we have questions from the commissioners, do we have any citizens who want to speak on this as well?
Yes,
Blackshear.
2 citizens who have registered.
Okay.
I would like to state that there is a 3-minute time limit. As you address the commission, we ask that you state your name and address for the record. At that time, I will turn on the green light. When the green light comes on, you will have 3 minutes to speak. After you have spoken 2.5 minutes, a yellow light will come on. You'll have 30 seconds remaining to speak. When the red light comes on, you'll be asked to cease your comments and to take your seat. To the audience in attendance, please be mindful this is a business meeting, and we kindly request that during this portion of the meeting, you refrain from any hand clappings, finger snapping, and conversations that will prevent the City Commission from hearing the speaker's comments. I call to the podium David Cox. Your name and address for the record.
I'm David Cox. My home address is 330 East Main Street, Eaton, Ohio. My office is 1200 East 2nd Street, Dayton, Ohio.
You may begin.
Good evening.
Mayor Mims, Commissioners Joseph, Shaw, Fairchild, and Turner-Sloss. My name is David Cox. I am the Executive Secretary of the Dayton Building and Construction Trades Council. The council is made up of 16 construction unions right here in our community. These 16 unions represent 7,000 skilled union construction workers that call Dayton and the greater Miami Valley home. I'm here to testify in favor of ordinance number 32151-25. This ordinance establishes a policy for the use of project labor agreements on certain city construction projects. The project labor agreements are a key tool for local governments to control construction costs of public construction projects. Studies show that these agreements increase worker productivity and reduce labor disruptions. The direct benefit of this is that PLAs control costs. These agreements also provide a pathway to hiring local workers on local projects. Because of a local hire ban and state law, a project labor agreement is the best tool for local government that wants to make sure their construction projects employ a local workforce. This means that when the city builds a new fire station, water plant, or park, that workers living right here in our community will be put to work. These workers pay income tax right back here in our community in Dayton. We all know the benefit of keeping our tax dollars here in the community. We know that it supports other jobs and other businesses. Our project labor agreements for these projects will also result in a higher use of construction apprentices being employed. Building trades union apprenticeship programs in Ohio represent nearly 80% of the total registered apprentices in our industry. This means that city projects can be used as training for current apprentices and to recruit new Dayton residents into the trades. For our region to continue to grow and attract jobs, we need to recruit our next generation of skilled trades workers. This legislation will make City of Dayton projects part of this workforce development. I represent construction unions in Dayton, but I want to be clear. This policy allows any contractor, regardless of whether they are signatory to a union, to bid on city projects. By standardizing work conditions, job site procedures, and allowing non-union contractors access to a skilled union workforce, this policy will provide opportunities to all contractors seeking to work within the city of Dayton. In fact, a peer-reviewed recent 2022 study by Dr. Russell and Dr. Duncan from the Institute. Thanks, guys. I try to get it all in there.
You're close. We know what's up. Okay, thank you.
Mr. Cox.
Thomas Ritchie Sr.
Good evening. My name is Thomas Ritchie Sr. I'm the president of the Dayton Miami Valley AFL-CIO. I live at 1644 Spalding Road, Dayton, Ohio. I'm here tonight to speak in favor of this ordinance. I've got to tell you that some time back, this discussion started. It started down the street, it come up the street, and I'm proud to say that I know that these trades workers in this valley do first quality work. There's no second guessing, there's no being behind, there's no showing up. They are the best that there is. We started a class, an apprenticeship class, and we're graduating the 14th cohort class this month. Thanks to the involvement of Chris Shaw flying into Washington, D.C. with us, and the brothers from the building trades, and Diane Walsh, Executive Director of RFL-CIO here in the Valley. As I said, we represent 55 different groups of employees here in this Valley. It's always first. But you know, I've been in front of this commission for 43 years on different issues. I got to tell you, tonight is one of my most proudest moments to see you folks take the bold step to lead these folks on to doing what's best for our community, making sure it's first quality work, dollars spent in our community. I don't have to drive around these parking lots to see where all these trucks and cars are from all the different states. They're going to be folks right here that spend their money, live here, vote here, and work here, and raise their families here. I know that this commission has worked hard. Our clerk and our city manager, just outstanding work. The legal folks in the legal department. But you know, there was a lot of work done by a lot of people in the community, and they're going to reap the benefit when they see this first quality work. I've seen the bad work at some of the school districts that we went back and looked at. Yep. I watched these folks repair the mess that was left behind. All of them come in on time. First quality work, no doubt in my mind. And I'm just so proud to be here tonight to represent the Dayton AFL-CIO, but to also say to you folks how proud I am of you. And you are going to be proud of these folks over the long run. Our taxpayers are going to see that first quality work everywhere that they do that work. And you can take that to the bank. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Mr. Ritchie. That concludes the speakers, Your Honor.
Okay. Yeah, one of the things I was going to mention before I ask the commissioners, they have some questions or thoughts. Tom, you mentioned the issue with the schools. I know we did an agreement of this nature back in 2008, where we used local minority contractors, and we came up with a process very similar to this. And we did a little bit quicker, but we did this process. And so the benefit, again, as was mentioned, that we had local contractors doing the local work, and that kept those local dollars that was paid for by the bond issue right here in the city of Dayton. And they did work so well that we look at the major contrast between two school buildings that were built, one with the labor agreement and one without. And the other building was built twice the size and also quicker. And again, much, much better in terms of the quality of that particular project. So again, I have a lot to thank you guys for in terms of assisting with this process. Okay, questions, comments, commissioners? Commissioner Turner-Sloss.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Excuse me. Thank you, Mayor. Would just like to thank the entire administration. Thank you to the city manager as well as to our law department, Mr. Musto, as well as Ms. Dosick, and the entire law department. Again, this is in fact a long time coming. Just a couple of questions, actually just one question. You mentioned that this is version 18. I know that I also had some language, and I also have been pushing for this for quite some time since I actually became a member of the Dayton City Commission. And as a member and coming from a family of union members, I know the importance and the value of protecting our unions as well as working with our unions along the way. And you touched on a lot of the benefits for the PLA. And so my question is, and thank you, Commissioner Shaw, for the work that you've done in D.C., as well as you, Commissioner Joseph, the entire commission for that matter. And so, again, I just wanted to make mention of the dollar amount, the threshold, because we've had some very spirited conversations, isn't that right, Commissioner Shaw, in terms of the threshold. I know, again, Ms. Dickstein mentioned the work of Mr. Grady Mullins, the research that you and your department have done across the state, and you look at comparison. I know at one point I was pushing for $200,000, then I made the recommendation for $500,000. I am glad to see that we are now at a threshold where we are all in agreement of the $2 million. So could you speak to that a little bit as to why the dollar amount of $2 million was in fact identified for this particular PLA?
Sure. There's a couple of reasons. First of all, you're negotiating a unique collective bargaining agreement for each project. Now, we know, now it's not nearly as complicated as doing the collective bargaining agreements with our unions, but you know how much effort is involved in that. So as a starting point, we did $2 million in vertical construction because those were the more complex, trade-heavy projects that it made sense to put the time and effort into negotiating a unique project labor agreement. So That's the first part of the $2 million. The second part is, as I said, there's a lot of negative propaganda out there about project labor agreements, and that has the impact of dissuading a lot of bidders, and unfortunately some of the minority business enterprises we want to work with from bidding on the contracts. So by having it at the $2 million level, that gives us a runway for the Human Relations Council and other departments to train and to educate about the benefits of the project labor agreements, so that if we decide to lower that amount in the future, they won't be scared off from bidding on those, because we don't want to harm the minority business enterprises and other small businesses in the city of Dayton unnecessarily. So that's part of maximizing the benefit and reducing the negative consequences.
Thank you, Mr. Musser. I really appreciate you providing that additional context. That's extremely helpful, because I know, again, this has been a long time coming. We were at 5 million with the 7% increase, inflation, whatever have you. So again, I know that we're now at 2 million with the 3%. So, and thank you for mentioning HRC, our Human Relations Council, our department, and working with our small and minority businesses. So again, I just wanted to commend the work of, again, we have to definitely pay homage to Mr. Mullins. He was the champion for this for quite some time, as well as Mr. Cox and your leadership. And I just want to recognize all my union brothers and sisters who are here this evening. Thank you for your work and your commitment, and thank you for being here this evening. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Fairchild.
Yeah, no, thank you, city manager and your team, the law department, for your work on this, colleagues, for pushing to get this done. It's been a long time coming. I'm glad we got there. Commissioner Turner-Sloss, thank you for being so adamant to find that right amount. And, I appreciate that we're going to review this and to going forward to see how well it's working. And I think it's going to work well. And, thank you for all our labor leaders to being here tonight, and for the conversations you've had with me over the years to help me understand and the importance of this. One comment stands out, one conversation, and it was, and it resonated with me because I'm a former athlete. I just wanted a level field to see what I could do on the field, and that's what this does. This protects our workers to get wages and benefits and safe job sites for all our workers, and it requires all contractors to provide that for them. It gives a level field, and I agree with Mr. Ritchie. This is a top-rate pro organization out here, and they can win on the level playing field. So I'm so excited about this, passing this tonight. So thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Shaw.
Thank you, commissioners, for that. Really excited about today. This has been a long time coming, as we know. And thank you, Commissioner Joseph, for your great leadership in this for all these years. When I first came on the commission, you were really enthusiastic about providing great opportunities for our labor unions. We had a lot of successes, but this is really the crown jewel, I think.
Yeah.
I want to thank you to all my friends in labor for being here and pushing this. People talked about labor unions showing up on time and the workers showing up on time and doing a very good job, but you didn't mention the safety factor. Safety is a big issue with labor, organized labor, and I think that these best practices will kind of roll downhill and eventually reach those that are not in labor unions. But this is a great time for our city. The reason why the threshold is higher than some of us would have wanted is because really it's a capacity issue, and this is a good problem to have. We've got so many projects in the pipeline that we're not going to be able to do all of this with PLAs because of the capacity issue. But that is a very good problem to have, and I'm just also excited that we're going to keep on reevaluating this. And I think a good practice might be to introduce some kind of metrics where we can continuously evaluate and reevaluate the successes and where we might need to touch and change things on down the line. But this is a really good start. So excited, and thanks to all my colleagues for supporting this.
Okay. Commissioner Joseph.
Thank you, colleagues. Thank you, commissioners, for your support all these years. Like Commissioner Shaw said, I'm excited about this one. I looking at some records and pulled some old emails, and I realized that it's been a 20-year fight to get here. 20 years. We're put together. I put together with Mr. Cox's predecessors responsible bidder language. We passed that ordinance in '06, That was a big step for us, and it's worked really well. It's helped us, but it was a first step. We moved on to starting to work on wage step, which is still a problem. We still need to do more, but we're getting there. That was 23. And here we are, putting this into place, using our power, our contracting power as a city to benefit our workers directly and all of our citizens, sometimes directly, sometimes indirectly. People are treated the right way. They have training programs, they have benefits. Doing this, making sure that people who are actually doing the work are getting paid and having a decent place to work and a decent atmosphere, that helps everybody. And not just in money either. That helps the entire society, helps families. So I really appreciate you all's patience. I appreciate you all's patience and work. I know that as normal citizens, it's a pain to get dragged into politics, and you've been dragged these last couple years. But we've had spirited discussion. We've come up with some good legislation. We're going to put it into place. And just like my colleagues have all said, and Mr. Musto, we are going to watch closely. We're going to see how it goes. We would all love for that threshold to go down. All of us to a person. We'd love for that to go down. But because of the way things work and because of the discussions we've had and hesitancies some people have, we understand it, and that's the way democracy works. We talk about it. Everybody came to the table in good faith. Or here we are with a good piece of legislation. We're going to keep it. We're going to look at it. And after 6 months, we're going to look at it again. A year, we're going to look at it again. We're going to set up metrics, as some of my colleagues have suggested. We're going to watch some of the things that Mr. Musto brought up there and see if we can't push that down a little bit as we go. So to everybody, thank you. We're doing this for the right reasons, and I can't wait to see how it works out, especially those of you who got dragged into politics when it's not your thing. I really appreciate it. You've done great, and I think that we've come up with a good piece of legislation here. So thank you all.
Yeah, thank you so much. Colleagues have said a lot. I go back in terms of my conversation with Tom Ritchie a few moments ago. The aspect of it just made sense. When we start looking at, again, some of the phases of building all new schools in the city of Dayton in that process because of the whole aspect of the unconstitutional underfunding of schools, funding and building all new schools was a part of that mandate that came from the House Supreme Court. And so the work, though, was put on those who were local in those spaces, working with the House School Facilities Commission, et cetera. They did not give us guidelines, so in terms of how to make that type of work happen. And we had a consistency of problems relative to prime contractors, sub-prime contractors, and many of them who were not being paid, at the rate they were specified to be paid. And we had way, way too many individuals from Kentucky, Indiana, Michigan doing the work as opposed to those who live right here in the city of Dayton. So when we came and sat down to make those things better, to correct those type of problems that we have, I think this was a precursor to some of the kind of things that we have right now in this agreement. So again, it makes common sense, and it's the best thing I think we can do for the employees and for the city and the citizens that we have in the city of Dayton. So again, thank all of you for the work that you've done, and thank you, City Manager, for taking the lead and following our wishes. All right. Good.
Thank you, Mr. Musto.
Okay.
Thanks, John. That's all I have, Your Honor.
Okay, that's it. So, Commissioners, any additional comments or thoughts on City Manager's recommendations? Mr. Turner-Sloss?
I have none, Your Honor. Thank
Okay.
you.
Commissioner Fairchild?
No, I have none, Your Honor.
Okay, Commissioner Shaw?
I'm also good.
Okay, Mr. Joseph? Okay.
Thank you, Mayor.
All right. So may I have a motion then to approve the City Manager's recommendations?
I move to approve the city manager's recommendations.
Second the motion, Your Honor.
Okay, it's been probably moved and seconded to approve the City Manager's recommendations. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Okay. Legislation, Ms. Blackshear.
First reading emergency ordinance number 32151-25, enacting section 35.241 of the revised Code of General Ordinances regarding project labor agreements and declaring an emergency.
Your Honor, being declared an emergency, I move for the immediate passage of ordinance number 32151-25.
Second the motion, Your Honor.
Okay, it's been probably moved and seconded that ordinance number 32151-25 be declared an emergency. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no.
Second reading emergency ordinance number 32151-25, enacting section 35.241 of the revised Code of General Ordinances regarding project labor agreements. Mayor Mims.
Aye.
Commissioner Joseph.
Aye.
Shaw.
Aye.
Fairchild.
Aye.
Turner-Sloss.
Aye.
Did I miss you?
No, it's all
Oh,
right.
okay, I'm sorry.
I can say aye again. I like this one.
Okay. First reading emergency ordinance number 32149-25, authorizing the city manager or her designee to apply for, accept, and enter into a cooperative agreement between the City of Dayton, Ohio, and the Ohio Water Development Authority, OWDA, for the refinancing of the proceeds of which were used for the purpose of paying costs of various improvements to the sewer system, authorizing the escrow trust agreement and other documents relating to the refinancing of the Series 2015 bonds and declaring an emergency.
Your Honor, being declared an emergency, I move for the immediate passage of ordinance 32149-25.
Second motion, Your Honor.
Okay, been probably moved and seconded to declare ordinance number 32149-25 as emergency. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Okay.
First reading emergency ordinance number 32150-25, authorizing the city manager or her designee to apply for, accept, and enter into a cooperative agreement between the City of Dayton, Ohio, and the Ohio Water Development Authority, OWDA, for the refinancing of the proceeds of which were used for the purpose of paying costs of various improvements to the water system, authorizing the escrow trust agreement and other documents relating to the refinancing of the Series 2015 bonds and declaring an emergency.
Having been declared an emergency, I move for the immediate passage of ordinance number 32150-25.
Second.
Okay, it's been probably moved and seconded to declare ordinance number 32150-25 as emergency. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no.
That concludes the legislation, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Board appointments. Commissioner Turner-Sloss.
Yes, Your Honor. I move to reappoint Ms. Diane Graham, Mr. Patrick Martin, Ms. Jacqueline Patterson, and Mr. Joseph Shaw to the Board of Zoning Appeals for a term ending June 30, 2027.
Second motion, Your Honor.
Okay, it's been probably moved and seconded to reappoint Diane Graham, Patrick Martin, Jacqueline Patterson, and Joseph Shaw to the Board of Zoning Appeals for a term ending June 30th, 2027.
I think I have to abstain on that.
Yes, that's fine. Okay. Let's vote independent roll call, please.
Mayor Mims.
Aye.
Commissioner Joseph.
Aye.
Shaw.
Abstain.
Fairchild.
Aye.
Turner-Sloss.
Aye.
Okay.
I move to reappoint Frederick Holly to the Landmark Commission for a term ending June 30, 2028.
Second motion, Your Honor.
Frederick Holly. Okay, it's been probably moved and seconded to appoint Frederick Holly for a term ending, what was that, June 30th, 2028. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Okay, we have another one?
Yeah. I move to reappoint Rosalind Miller, Geraldine Peggs, and Greg Scott to the Plan Board for a term ending June 30th, 2028.
Second motion.
Okay. It's probably moved, let me make sure I have that right. My, okay, thank you.
Oh, no. You want this one?
Yeah, that's one I got.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
good.
Okay.
Okay, it's been probably moved and seconded to reappoint Rosalind Miller, Geraldine Pegues, and Greg Scott to the Planning Board for a term ending June 30, 2028. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Okay, thank you.
Your Honor, I move to appoint Rachel Osterday to the Central Cities Committee for a term ending December 31st, 2028.
Second, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, it's been probably moved and seconded to appoint Rachel Osterday and to Sister Cities Committee for a term ending December 31st, 2028. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no.
Your Honor, I move to appoint Arlene Hill, Caitlin Jacobs, and Ms. Barbara Thomas to the Human Relations Council Board for a term ending August 31, 2028.
Second motion, Your Honor.
Okay, it's been probably moved and seconded to appoint Eileen Huff, Caitlin Jacobs, and Barbara Thomas to a term to the Human Relations Board for a term ending.
Point of order, I'm sorry, Your Honor. Hurrell, not Huff.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Eileen Huff?
Hurrell, H-U-L-L.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank
sir. You're welcome.
Okay. Let's change that to Hull. instead of Huff. Thank you. So I move to appoint Eileen Huff. Hull. Excuse me, I'm not sure whether words don't want to come out right. Okay, we got it. Tongue in front of my eye tooth and can't see what's happening there. So I move to appoint Eileen Hull, Caitlin Jacobson, and Barbara Thomas for the Human Relations Council Board for a term ending August 31st, 2028. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Okay. So, Ms. Blackshear, do you have any citizens who are registered to speak?
One citizen who has registered,
One.
and I would like to remind everyone of the 3-minute time limit. I call to the podium David Woods.
Hello, Mayor and City Council meeting. David Woods, 3230 Lakeview Avenue. I'm complaining about the city of Kettering, Ohio, the city of Englewood, Ohio, and the city of Miamisburg, Ohio. I'm complaining because they're racist for the fact that I called in and I called the mayor of Miamisburg and asked her, can she talk to Civil Rights Commissioner Christine McDonald, and I left a message on her phone that said, if you call her by Monday, if you don't call her, then you let me know that you don't care about black people because my dad's black. Then I called the mayor of Kettering, Ohio, and Englewood, Ohio, the same thing too. And then the chief of police, I called his police quarters and I asked him to have the chief of police, Sergeant Cora Follett, call Christine McDonald because she wants to talk to him because he said that he never did tell Captain Perez at Kettering Hospital about that incident. But she would not cooperate. And I said, if he don't call too, then he's telling black folks that he don't care about black folks because my dad is black, and it was a hate crime because my dad was around a pretty white woman Chapman and a white man Chapman, and they prayed for him, and then he got slapped, by the medical nurse and choked, and they never did put in his medical records. And Kettering Hospital did that illegally. They're supposed to have that record, medical records. The Ohio State Medical Board is investigating now, and I got Christine McDonald there, a Civil Rights Commission who's doing her job. And I also said that all the black folks in the city need to boycott Kettering, all Kettering or hospitals. Every last one of them, since the city of Kettering, Ohio, and Miamisburg don't care about how black folks feel. The only people I feel that people should keep the mayor of Dayton, Ohio, and the city council still in office, all the black folks, because we only can trust y'all. And the mayors of Trotwood, because I see the mayor of Trotwood when they had a concert down there, that she was singing with us, and she got asked to sing. So I urge everybody that's black to call Channel 2 News because the chief of police don't want to cooperate. He thinks he's going to get away being racist. Their number is 937-293-5121. It's a hate crime. When I talked to my lawyer, they said since my dad got choked by the male nurse, it's not just a medical malpractice, it's a crime, and the police can go down there. I asked them, called the mayor and told the Kettering chief of police he can go down there at Kettering Hospital and arrest them because he got the list of the Chapman. They didn't do it. And the chief of police says he's in a link with him because he broke the HIPAA code. He could do it. So I urge all the people to boycott all the Kettering Main Campus Hospital, and still, since they didn't tell me this day that my dad is dead illegally, they haven't told me, and haven't told my sister that my dad got choked. Everybody needs to go ahead and boycott all the Kettering hospitals and just go to Miami Valley Hospital, because I have proven that Dr. Nixon, who gave my dad affection, that they don't care about killing black folks and they don't care about black folks. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you
Mr.
for your
Woods.
comments.
That is all, Your Honor.
Okay. Closing comments. Ms. Dixon, closing comments.
Yes, Your Honor, I have one closing comment. I'd like to remind our community that tomorrow is our Lights in Flight celebration, celebrating our country's birthday on July 3rd instead of July 4th. Festivities are being held at Kettering Fields at 504 Helena Street. 6 p.m. Is when the activities start. There will be food trucks, inflatables, fireworks at 10. I want to thank our departments of Recreation, Public Works, Police, and Fire who have been working diligently. As recently as reviewing our plan and safety, given the activities that occurred over the weekend at Huber Heights, we are confident that we have a good plan in place and a good layout, so we encourage our community to come out and enjoy this festive evening. I do also want to remind the community, although we have put out notice, that there will also be some firework testing this evening due to the improvements occurring at Kettering Fields with more AstroTurf They are testing to see where else they can shoot off fireworks for next year's event and have good view sheds. So those testing fireworks will be about 9:45 this evening. So just wanted to let everyone know they aren't missing our big show this evening, because that's tomorrow, and the fireworks go off around at 10 tomorrow. And that's all I have.
Okay, great. Ms. Blackshear, in closing comments.
Just like to remind everyone that because of the 4th of July holiday, we'll be closed on Friday.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. Commissioners, closing comments. Commissioner
Yes.
Turner-Sloss.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Ms. Dix's team, for highlighting the Lights in Flight fireworks display that will take place tomorrow evening. I would just ask people to please be careful, be safe if they decide to take the festivities out on their own, meaning that they will ignite their own fireworks in their neighborhoods. I will also ask that you please, please, please pick up all of your trash. Please discard all of your trash, any leftovers that may take place after the display from your own personal use. I also would like to encourage everyone to come out to Wreck Your Hood this coming July the 12th, actually, at Five Oaks neighborhood at the Carrick's Corner Park, 300 Delaware Avenue. And again, I just wanted to acknowledge the work of our recreation and youth services. They do a fine job, and that, again, it will take place on Saturday, July the 12th. I still cannot believe we're in July. From 1 to 4 p.m. They will feature DJ, music, games, and challenges. And from my understanding, they will also be giving away free Crocs, if that still is in place. So I know that was a hit on the last Wreck Your Hood event. So I encourage everyone to come out and to definitely mark their calendars. And then I would just like to, again, thank Ms. Dix's team, my colleagues, as well as Mr. Parlat, Ms. Lofton, the entire law department for the legislation for the project labor agreement. I am very excited to support that legislation. And if it is permissible, Your Honor, could we please just ask our union brothers and sisters if they wouldn't mind standing and if they could be recognized for being here this evening? Is that fair?
That is fair. We can do that.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Cox, as well as Mr. Tom Ritchie Sr. for being here. And if you all wouldn't mind, if you feel comfortable, join us at the podium just to acknowledge your presence being here and your union that you represent.
Okay, we can do it at the end of the meeting.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
And I think that's all I have.
That's it? Good.
Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Fairchild.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you to the Dayton Police Department. I understand that one of the persons who has been defacing North Main with graffiti was identified and arrested, and so good work on that. I know that's been an incredible source of frustration for all of us, but particularly our neighbors who live in the North Main area. So thank you, and please, City Manager, give our thanks to the Dayton Police Department for their good work on that. And then congratulations to the arcade. The Urban Land Institute has named the Dayton Arcade as one of the 10 winners of its 2025 American Awards for Excellence as one of the top developments in America. So congratulations to our staff and all the work there, but also our partners in the arcade works. So congratulations. And then finally, I want to wish everyone a happy 4th of July. And this year I encourage you to take a lesson from one of my colleagues, Father John Paddock. Every year he pulls out either the Constitution or the Declaration of Independence and reads those and reflects on what it means to be a citizen of these United States, what it means to be responsible for self-government, how are we a steward of this incredible experiment that we have in this, quite frankly, a very precious gift that we have that very few people have in terms of being able to govern ourselves. And so I encourage you, as part of your observance this 4th of July, to take time to read the founding documents and to reflect on what it means to be a citizen.
Okay. Thank you very much. Commissioner Shaw.
Very well said. I have a copy of both in my office right now. I think I might pull that out. Appreciate that comment and support and time for this. Just one thing to say, I think personal fireworks are illegal in Dayton. Am I correct on that? So I do want to just say, make sure that folks know, don't do that at your home. So
They do it anyway.
yeah, they do. Yeah, you're right, they do. So just a couple highlights here. The Great Miami River, of course, is one of Dayton's greatest natural assets. And there are two great opportunities coming up to enjoy and protect our river. As someone who loves to kayak, lost my phone Sunday doing very thing again.
I'm glad you admit to that because I was going to tell you.
I'm sure. I figured. But I'm excited about the 2025 Great Float on Friday, July 11th. It's a 2-hour paddle from Eastwood Metro Park to Riverscape with over 100 other paddlers. And it ends by floating through our great and beautiful Five Rivers Fountain of Lights. So be sure to register by tomorrow, July 3rd, on the Metro Parks website. And then on Friday, July 18th, we have the clean sweep of the Great Miami River happening downtown. And it's a great way to help clean our river and keep it safe and accessible for all. And I just encourage everyone to take part in that. And for more information or to register for the clean sweep, visit the city's website or call 937-333-3725.
Okay. Commissioner Joseph.
Two things. Thank you, Mayor. First is I want to announce the Men's Health Celebration coming Saturday, July 19th. 4-hour event talking about engaging the community with a focus on men's health. Stop by for free food, family fun, and prizes. Also health screenings, wellness resources, interactive living, workshops, demos. That's from 11 to 3 on July 19th. Put on their calendar at 4303 West 3rd Street. Second, I want to appreciate my colleagues' comments. Commissioner Fairchild, I would also add Lincoln's second inaugural, which is wonderful, and Gettysburg Address is always awesome. I'd add those two Lincoln documents, stick those in there. Second inaugural address, take you 4 or 5 minutes to read, and it's touching and wonderful. Yeah. So I'd throw those two in there too. Yep. So happy July 4th, everybody. Happy Independence Day.
Okay. So a couple of things. One, the Wright Dunbar Days we had this past Sunday in Dayton, and despite multiple rain showers that we had on that day, it was a great success. Individuals just went to their cars or under a tent, waiting for the rain to stop, and then they came back out. So I thank Tay Whiston and all her partners in that process. Tremendous asset as far as the city of Dayton is concerned. Additionally, I thought he was going to mention this because his great work working in that space, Commissioner Shaw. The Dayton Convention Center, we had a ribbon cutting. Colleagues were there as well. And a lot of great food, a lot of great individuals from all over the region who came to support the great work that we've done, been a part of, and taking Dayton, hopefully from being last in generating conventions in this state of Ohio, to hopefully sometime being first. So the great work that you've done with so many of the partners from the county and again all over the region, I certainly want to thank you for that work.
Thank you.
Okay, appreciate that. And thank my colleagues for being there with me as well. Okay. Additionally, I want to say that on First Friday, which you have coming up, again, which every month, free art exhibits and a variety of entertainment options and much more. So please visit First Friday Dayton on Facebook for more information. A lot of great things happen here in the city of Dayton. And lastly, come shop, eat, and play with our local small businesses and street vendors during the Independence Day block party located during the Oregon District this Saturday, July 6th, from 12 p.m. until 6 p.m. A lot of great things happen in Dayton as well. So, with no further business to come for the... Come up. Yeah. Yes, let's come on up. Yeah, guys, come on up.
Come on up. We want to make sure to thank you for all your work and all your efforts.
Yeah, before we close the
Get a
meeting
round of applause you
officially.
deserve. Come on up here. Good suggestion.
Yeah, we're going to do that. Okay. Where's
It's most
Brian?
of the audience.
photographer? Someone? Okay.
I want to get a picture too, Jack.
Yeah.
Get a picture.
Jacker, the picture.
You introduce yourselves if you don't mind. If that's okay.
Okay.
Want to introduce yourselves? Thank you. Brave soul. Thank you, sir.
Sean Herzog, I'm the president of the Dayton Building Trades, and I'm also the vice president of Bricklayers and Allied Craft Workers Local 23. And I'd just like to thank all of you guys. Our members will know about this and hear about this here real soon.
Okay, thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
sir.
Appreciate it.
Hello, everyone. Dylan Ashley, President and Field Representative of Labor's Local 1410. I think this is a great step, so thank you, guys.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, everyone. My name is Clayton Tolliver Jr., Field Rep for Local 1410. This is very awesome for everybody in this place. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks again.
Good evening. I'm Steve Tolson. I'm a representative and a proud member of IBEW, Local 82, the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, and also a resident of the city of Dayton. I'm very appreciative of this and looking forward to our opportunity to work with you all.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate you.
David Richardson with Ironworkers Local 290, Dayton, Ohio.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Israel McIntosh with Ironworkers Local 290. Thanks for the support.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jason Lautenslager, Business Manager for Labor's Local 1410. We represent about 1,000 members that live in the Dayton area or surrounding communities that will greatly benefit from what you guys did tonight. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks again.
Mark Terrell, Business Manager with the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters. Appreciate all the support and look forward to working with you in the future.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
David Lay, Vice President of the Dayton Building Trades, also Business Representative for the International Union of Painters and Allied Trades. Thank you for your trust in us, and we look forward to working with you.
All right. Thank you.
Ari Kurtz, Business Agent, Local 162, Plumbers and Pipe Fitters, are ecstatic about what you guys have accomplished. It's going to be a great benefit to the whole community. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank
you
you.
again.
I need no introduction.
We see you live.
Representative and also the apprenticeship instructor, local OPCMI, which is the oldest building trade in the United States. Thanks again.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, we get everyone? Okay. Yeah. All right. Love and peace for all, hatred for none. With no further business to come before this commission, this meeting is adjourned. All right.